So what about this situation, how much did it impact your health as a whole?
Oh, tremendously. It impacted my health. It impacted my marriage a lot. I almost lost my mind because of everything that you just said. Like, here it is. Everything that I've ever touched turned to gold. I'm an overachiever. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do good at it. Yeah. Like, I'm a winner. I'm a natural born winner. It don't have nothing to do with money. I just like to win. I like to build. I like to create. Like, I'm the winner. I don't care if it's 1,000 people in the room. I win. Like, that's just always been my energy. That's always been my mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost like I'm an athlete. I mean, you know.
No, you got that mentality.
Yeah, I have an athlete mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to be better than everybody here. Mm-hmm. Right? That's always been my mindset. Not in an arrogant way, but I just believe in myself that much that I am the best. Yeah. So when the things around me started to change that narrative, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this, to be honest. But it really was ego. When I look back at all of it, it really was all ego because I'm the best with all of those things. Mm-hmm. Okay, I could be flat broke and my mouthpiece is still a country club. I'm the best, right? But I didn't need to have the millions behind my business to acknowledge that, right? So when I was going through trying to raise funding, I'm talking about like, I'm picking up the phone, trying to raise money, trying to do all of these things, and everybody at the time is strapped. Okay, there was a period where ain't nobody liquid, wasn't nobody trying to give up money. And I'm trying to hold on to my little coins in my household. We got 5 kids. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And Derek is still growing his company. You know, he wants to help me out, but I'm like, hey, we both can't be down.
But that's where my question lies. And I was going to get there, but now here we are. Mm-hmm. What people don't know is that your husband also would, in essence, be a competitor. Yeah. In your field. Yeah. But like when you say power couple, I think people were more pleased and like shocked. Like, this is one of the most thriving Philly cheesesteak restaurant owners, and Derek Hayes. I had the opportunity to speak with him before on Funky Friday, and just to hear how his brain work in business just off of something as simple, well, not simple, as chopped cheese and doggone Phillies. And that's your husband. But I think what I'm hearing is it's a lot of, and I may be wrong, like you took this on your doty, so to speak, when it's like, what's the point of being married if you can't confide or have some type of resources to come in from your other half? How was that?
You know, it's funny because
the 4th of July is here. And if you're anything like me, you know that the celebrations start way before the fireworks. It's figuring out not only where everybody's pulling up, who's on the grill, what is and who's responsible for the playlist. And most importantly, making sure your fit is right. And that's why I love me some Macy's. Whether you're hosting your cookout, just showing up, you can knock out everything in one stop. Grab the outfit, the shoes, and all the countless accessories. But peep this though, you can also get what you need for the backyard setup. Not you running all over town. Man, you got a place that is a one-stop shop where you can piece everything together. Try to fit on, make sure it feels right. Put the whole fit together before the day gets here. That's how you avoid last-minute surprises.
I don't know if you watched the show, but I'm sure you've seen highlight clips.
I saw it.
Right. So there's this narrative like, why aren't you trusting in your husband? Let me tell you something. When I met my husband, he had lines down the block. When my husband met Pinky, she had lines down the block, okay? So we both separately and together had thriving businesses. Yeah. What attracted us to each other were that we were bosses and still are bosses, right? So he had his own thing going on. I had my own thing going on. What happened with me before Derek is I got the lick before he did, okay? I got the big dollars. So I was able to scale faster than him because I got $25 million to scale while he was still chopping cheese, but still had the popular brand in the neighborhood where everybody was talking about him. So for a very long time, I was at the helm just financially with the business because I got $25 million to grow, right? So it took him a little bit longer, but when I reached my peak in business and then I started having problems, he started to have his peak, okay? So then he raised money, and people don't know this, but we actually have the same investor.
Wow.
People don't know that. Yeah. So we have the same investor.
That's like a conflict of interest, no?
You call it what you want. But he started growing in business, and my business started falling apart. And here it is. I'm like, okay, all right, we need to figure it out. So like, you got to understand, you in a relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm coming home and I'm sad. And I'm not a dark person, right? Like, I'm always optimistic. My energy is just on 10. If you're around me, I'm gonna make you feel better. I'm gonna make you think bigger than life. Okay, so I'm coming home dark and just sad all the time. He don't recognize me no more. Let's be honest. He looking at me like, I don't even know who this is. Like, here it is, I'm getting all of these deals, I'm winning, all of these great things are happening for me. And then I turn around and look at my wife who had all of these things, and now all of a sudden she's figuring it out in her professional career. Like, it was a new person that we got to meet each other on a different level, and neither one of us liked it. You understand what I'm saying? So when I didn't tell him about the bankruptcy, it wasn't because I didn't want to share that information with him. That ain't how he met me. I was a boss on my own, right? Like, I just wanted to be able to solve my own problems because he didn't get me here, and I don't need you to get me out of here, because guess what? Just like I'm grinding trying to grow this $1 billion business, he over here stressing and grinding trying to grow his $1 billion business. Why am I going to put my stress on his $1 billion mission?
Can I ask you a
He
question?
can't handle his stress and mine. I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah. I think when you talk about the clip that I saw, my question, why was he the last person? It felt like he was the last person to kind of...
He wasn't.
That's just... Okay.
He wasn't he was the last person to know about the bankruptcy, because to be honest, at the time I was a little embarrassed, to be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah, he knew about the financial problems. I mean, like, he's not slow. We live together. We lay next to each other, okay? Like, I'm inside his skin. He knew about the problems and what was happening. But my decision to file bankruptcy, we briefly talked about it early on, and he was like, no, you're not filing bankruptcy.
This
So
is
I let
on
it go.
camera or off camera?
This was off camera.
Okay.
Like, we briefly in the past,
Yeah.
I'm like, the conversation that I told you when my colleague said,
Yes.
like, hey, we might have to file for bankruptcy. So at that time, I knew that he wasn't for the bankruptcy. He like, no, you're not doing that. Like, we got too much great things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right, I'm not doing that. So when you see the clip is me kind of coming to him and saying like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this, right? But it wasn't like, I'm keeping this from my husband, I don't want him to know.
Because his response was like...
Because he my rider. His
Yeah.
response is like, no, like, you're not going to file, I'm going to give you the money. But that's not smart for him to give me money to file for bankruptcy when we need to hold on to the liquid.
Yeah.
We need to hold on to what it is that we have. And I'm not even responsible for this anymore because it's in the hands of the estate.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let me break it down for the people who don't understand what that meant. The minute that my company went through the restructure, I didn't own anything from that old company. I didn't own assets, or I didn't own the debt until I became the personal guarantor for the debt and they started coming after me. So the easiest thing for me to do was to file a Chapter 11 so that I can start over and make sure that 2.0 is positioned to where it needed to be.
But this also needs to be said too, for people who don't understand this specific business situation. If her husband were to give her money, it would be almost burning it, as if to say, like, because if you owe certain things, you want to keep what's yours for you to live your life. That's not to say that you own yachts or Rolls Royces or going on splurges. It's to say that how can we strategically come up with a plan to pay back strategically rather than giving off of the things that we need to operate our life in, because that's not going to be something that will be beneficial.
You hit the tail on a donkey. It's all about strategy.
Yeah.
So filing for bankruptcy is an opportunity to get these creditors off of my back for something that happened under a corporation with other partners. So at first I'm like, well, why am I the only one liable? Well, Pinky, because you signed as a personal guarantor.
Yeah.
So the process that I'm in right now is that bankruptcy personally. Personally, I don't have much. Okay, I'm broke personally.
You and me both.
Okay, like I ain't got much personally, and I'm fine with that. That's okay. That's how it should be, right? But these creditors were attacking me. So it was the best thing to do. It was the right thing to do. I'm happy that I did it. If I could go back, I would do it all again. But let me tell you the beautiful thing about it. Slutty Vegan is thriving. I'm signing franchises, okay? Even through all of the dust and all of the smoke and all of the negativity, I get 7 franchise requests every single day. That's a lot with no marketing. 7 franchise requests every single day for people who want to buy into my brand. That's a big deal. So that tells me that my brand is weatherproof. Okay, all I need now is the operators to run my brand. So to my earlier point, when I said being put on display, here it is now. I'm on a national TV show. Okay, and my whole storyline is everything that happened in my business. But do you know how many people message me every single day, Cam, saying, can you give me a bankruptcy attorney? I'm so glad that you did this. You're inspiring me. I'm doing something that people are afraid to do. I'm being brave. You know why? Because I'm so self-aware and sure of who I am.
Yeah.
I know that the level of 44X that's about to take place in my business, eyes have not seen. Eyes have not seen. So what you saw before, I don't know if you pay attention, it's happening right now in front of your face. When you go on Instagram, do you see me? It's happening right now, all over again. But this time, it's 44X. There's a pattern that happens in life, okay? Lost the business before, got it back times 10, lost the business again, about to get it back times 20. And the pattern will continue to increase. Now, I pray that I don't lose anything again, but that's the nature of life. You're gonna lose shit in life.
Yeah.
But when you lose shit, you really get to learn shit.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
I've learned so much in business by losing stuff. And the people who have an opinion and want to put their mouth on my business, you can last a day as an entrepreneur. You can last a day as a CEO. So I let people create their think pieces and all this stuff. But let me tell you something, Cam, I'm a genius.
Yeah, you are.
I am a genius. I know that for a fact.
I want people to understand it's like you exude this confidence that it's almost like the Kanye West syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard that before.
Like Kanye, no matter what you want to say about him, I don't know any other way to put it, but he finds ways to remind us all of how resilient and how creative he is. When I see Pinky, it's the same thing. I want to go back to something real quick because that competitiveness can be your gift and it also could be a curse. When I ask this question, are you in competition with your husband?
Yes.
Is that healthy?
And he's in competition with me. Yes.
It's healthy?
It keeps us on our toes. It's not called competition, it's called camaraderie.
Okay.
Because when I see him growing, I get excited. I'm like, I need to get on my stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't when your lady growing, you like, yeah, I need to stay up on it.
Yeah.
And when he see me growing, he like, I need to get up on my stuff.
Yeah.
When I see him working out, I'm like, shit, I need to get up and start working out.
Yeah.
When he see me eating healthy, he like, damn, I need to go eat a salad. That's the kind of relationship that we have. You understand what I'm saying? When he looking at his sales, these my sales for the week. And I'm like, hey, my sales for the week. But that's how we grew our relationship. And yes, it keeps us on our toes in our relationship. And at the end of the day, when you talk about the household, we are Hayes Hospitality, okay? The beneficiaries of our businesses is our offspring, okay? They are going to benefit from the hard work and the level of competitiveness and excellence that we've put in. You understand what I'm saying? Derek is my comp. Whenever I'm feeling low, I'm looking to the left and I'm looking at my comp. Whenever I feel like, okay, what's trending in the market? I'm looking at my comp. I got the cheat code, okay? Not many people can say that they have the cheat code in relationships, and we have it. So I'm glad our dynamic is the way that it is. I'm glad that we both have very successful businesses. And I'm even more proud now because my husband has waited patiently while I had my longest run, and now he's having his run. So guess what? I'm supporting him on his run, okay? He just made the cover of the biggest restaurant trade magazine in the country, okay? He's up to 35 franchisees, okay? He's closing on a multi-million-dollar investment deal right now. Like, we're good. Even when I fall, we still good. So that's the benefit of our relationship, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I don't want to be intrusive.
Go ahead.
But I'm asking because I think it's imperative for people to understand and know. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Did you sign a prenuptial agreement?
No.
Did he sign a prenuptial agreement?
No, we have no prenup.
So y'all locked in?
We locked in like skin. I'm gonna tell you why. Right before we got married, I looked at him and he looked at me. I said, listen, if this don't work out, we're gonna go our separate ways with what we came with. And we both, and that's why I married him. He has my mind, right? One thing about me is I ain't begging, borrowing, or stealing from nobody. Like, I don't play with people like that. So if it don't work out, I don't want nothing from you. You gotta watch me get it all over again. And you're gonna be sitting back like, damn, this girl is a monster. And vice versa. That's the kind of energy that he has. So no, we don't have a prenup. And he's stuck like Chuck, and so am I. So we ain't going nowhere.
I think it's wowing to see, because I witnessed from afar this dynamic come into place. And it made sense, well, in this sense, it made dollars for so many reasons where it's like, yo, this is a real power couple here. And when people that are on this trend of love, but there's something that can kind of wedge between that. And it is this dynamic where there's good points on one side that says like, no, sign a prenup. And then there's other points on the other side. It's like, no, we're not going to do it. So either way, whether you did it or not, I wanted people to understand that you can go along and be the best version of yourself together as well as independent.
You know what I think it is? His plan was never to live off me, and my plan was to never live off him.
Wow.
And that's why it works. And it might not work for somebody else, right? But every marriage is different. And my marriage is just like, I don't want your money. I'm happy to have it because I know it's mine. But like, I want to say that I've achieved my wildest dreams on my own. I don't want to live off nobody else. And call me independent, call me what you want. But he also don't want to live off me. He want to have his own. He wants to realize his father's dream.